Prison Lawyer. This is SF Mo, your prison lawyer. This is SF Mo, your prison lawyer. I want to welcome you to the grill pit. This IGSTS on your lanes. I got something to say. You know what I'm saying? International, worldwide, regional, coming to your town. It's SF Mo, your prison lawyer. What's up? I want to send a shout out to GPAC, Global Prisoners Advocacy Collective. They're in the same space we are, with them fighting on the opposite side of well, we're not a nonprofit, we're private. We're entertainment, newsworthy entertainment. And they deal directly with helping those being impacted by the criminal injustice system on all levels. So I feel like it's an innovative look into how to correct the wrongs of the criminal injustice system. And I want to shout them out. Appreciate you. On the next same level, we have a project coming up, IGSTS, 2 projects really. One, Ron B's working on that's going to deal with individuals who are re-entering prison, and he's going to be talking to them and talking about their thinking process real time, right? And also SF Mo is doing Innocent Project. It says Innocent Project, but we're talking about the criminal justice system, how it has affected individuals, and it's a global demo where we're going to be dealing with families, not specifically championing the family as we're looking at the process as a whole, and we're going to give individuals a voice and try to create enough mask around their innocent campaign and their plight and their journey to free these individuals. Because as you can see, with all these different organizations they have out here, ain't nobody has been left free. Until we are free, what's going on, man? No motherfuckers is even coming home, right? Shout out to my bros coming home. Appreciate you. What's up, Manifest? Good looking. Islam, what's up with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? All you brothers home, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? You see me in the streets, talk about it, I be about it. They in my cars riding around with me, eating, breaking bread together, talking about making a better society and bringing everybody back. With that said, not to bore you, not to talk your ears off. I know y'all got to run, check your Twitter feeds, and I hope y'all are looking at me on IG. But if you're here right now, you've been called in by social media. My question was, does Martha Dimick owe the community, North Minneapolis, apology? Does she atone for her sin? Yes. What? It's definitely yes. She's done a lot. She's trying to run on the fact that somehow she cleaned Minneapolis up by locking up the youth, by criminalizing the youth. Her innovation, her thought process is based on the fact that she feels confident that law enforcement's behind her because she's going to make a great mini Mike Freeman, right? And a lot of that behaviorism comes from past trauma, right? When she feels in her mind somehow there's a need to continue business as usual, like I said. So that's what they intend on doing. With that being said, not to harp on that, because like I said, I had no intentions of even updating this. I was done with this shit. SF Mo got big things to do. Like we have a project coming up where we're going to be dealing with innocent individuals or individuals who've been impacted through the justice system through our lenses. And we're going to do a series. First off, starting in Minneapolis, I have some brothers in IDOC that I'm going to be talking to. And it's just going to be showing, all the dynamics of how that looks nowadays, right? Not specifically dealing with innocent individuals, but dealing with individuals who have been dealing with this criminal injustice system and trying to get themselves out. But you have people like Martha Dimick who are standing on it, and you can see if she's sitting in the capacity as a prosecutor or just on those panels, her view of how the system is working is aligned with what's currently happening. And you have individuals who've been convicted, who are innocent, who are trying to get themselves out and need advocates in that realm. And she's not one of them. It's SF Mo. She's like SF Mo, unauthorized to practice law in Hennepin County. We can share that. I'm SF Mo, the prison lawyer. She's Martha Dimick. I don't know what the hell she's doing. The other thing is there's a couple of things that happen. Like the reason I'm back hitting you guys with this again is because SF Mo get a motherfucking call you know, get a text, call, you know, doing everything, and they're like, man, it's a Twitter war going on because of the story that you put up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's giving SF more credit or the people around them credit. But you know, like they're pointing, you know, they're poking at her. You know, like this is what's going on because they understand, like I understand. I mean, you're in the office that you're supposed to be producing ethics and more, you know, you're supposed to be that epitome and you can't even get your shit right. So that I want to talk about that and read some of the tweets off of individuals who are going at against her. Also, that was a SFMO causing all types of problems. You know what I'm saying? So there was an article written, you know, no major newspaper, but an article was written in regards to them trying to do damage control. They called up some of their newspaper friends. They want to do that. That's like do damage control. SFMO out there running his motherfucking mouth and want to shut him the fuck up. You can't shut me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Look at the back of my shirt. Shut me the fuck up. Right. So let's continue. So with that article, I want to read a little bit part of that article because whoever's a campaign manager, I think he did more. He caused more. He pointed the light more at it. He would have been better off just shutting his fucking mouth, right? Because he's trying to clear up something and make these excuses when there's no excuse, right? None, zero. The other thing is there was a recent debate just this Friday on Almanac. Martha, Mary debating the jobs. Told you SAFMO don't have no dog in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? But what's right is right. So I'm just listening to the two people talk. And with Martha, you know, she's saying she's got her marching orders from old lion ass Freeman. You know what I'm saying? Piece of shit Freeman, right? She's got her marching orders from him, and she sounds just like them. And I don't understand why people don't understand other than her telling them when she gets into office she's gonna slot these positions for these individuals, these urban organizations within the community, so they can fight crime, right? Like the whole thing with Winners gas station, right? This whole deal, you know, is she wants them to weaponize them to do her dirty work, right? So she's gonna bring in these coalitions to be eyes on the street, snitches on the street. It's all good though. So I want to talk about that. I just want to air a little bit of that clip. Like I'm giving credit out to Almanac for getting them together. SAFMO couldn't do it. And like I said, it really shows the two candidates and how diametric opposite they are. You know how one is willing to talk about race and the inequities, and you got a female who calls herself black in North Minneapolis. I don't know, it's for show, and she never ever uses the word color or anything like that, or even speaks in any terms of empathy. So I tell you who you're dealing with. This SFMO, you know, not a therapist. I'm not even a lawyer. I'm just SFMO, your prison lawyer, hitting you with the business. And we'll be right back. I want to tell you guys who's sticking and staying, who following me, supporting me. Appreciate it. Keep doing that. Taking us to the top. And I'm going to keep bringing you the real. That's all I can do. You dig? It's SFMO, your prison lawyer. It's SFMO, your prison lawyer. It's SFMO, your prison lawyer. I'll be right back. Peace. You go ahead and say it. You're the grill, job, baby. One time, like this. For those who hump and make your one nigga straight loony after taking one puff.
Accepted quite a few Africans as deities.
SFMO, your prison lawyer. Welcome back to SFMO, your prison lawyer. You're in the real pit. And this is just an update on the situation we find ourselves in with the fact that we brought you Martha Dimick being unauthorized to practice law, shouldn't have been on the ballot as a candidate for DA in Hennepin County. Yeah, so she still finds herself. The fact that nobody really thought it was newsworthy is it's crazy to me. But with that, it's not to go back into that, but just to go back to the fact that it did spark a Twitter war. Whoever, and a couple of judges, a couple of individuals out there telling her about herself. And I got that pulled up. Let me just grab that real quick for you. And I'm going to read it off because I don't want to embellish, nor do I want to be libelous, so with that being said, let me pull this up real quick. On Twitter, you had Bill Emery. Hope I'm saying your name right, Bill. Was Martha Dimick serving as a judge while her license to practice the law was expired? If so, any case she ruled on during that time may be vulnerable to appeal. Attorneys can't be sloppy. Attorneys can't have sloppy paperwork. Wow, what's up, man? It's all good. Appreciate you. And then we had Omar come out. What's up, Omar? I've never even reached out to her, but her campaign, she said, imagine failing to follow state law as a sitting judge while also running for office charged with enforcing state law. So Omar came out. Great. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? There's some other stuff. Minnesota Reformer then comes out with an article that I'm going to read on. But just with that, there's a lot more stuff popping off than that. But people really challenging her ethics. And that's all I was saying, right? With the whole demonstration, you know, that I initially started up. It was like, it's how ethical is this lady that is county attorney? And then I think she's as ethical as they want her right now, right? All they want is a mini Mike Freeman. So when it comes in, she's talking about how she's gonna be tough on crime and how much murders, and she wants to use this fear mongering, and it's a tactic, right? So for her not to be revoltly almost throwing up at the mention of Mike Freeman's name is a problem, right? So with that being said, the Twitter war, like I said, I'm not even on Twitter. I got an account, but I really don't do that shit. I was unaware of what was going on and how people were really vocally, really feeling the situation and feeling what I felt. You know what I'm saying? Put SFMO on the ballot, right? Write me in. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just put their names on it, but it doesn't go. With this being said, as much as I thought about it, even if she makes all these excuses up, it doesn't negate the offices that were supposed to check this out and vet this. Like, where the fuck are they at? You know? So as we go on, we can go into this Minnesota. Let me get the name right for this newspaper. I want to say spokesman. NPR News. Sorry, it's two articles written. I happened to bring up the NPR News one, written October the 7th, 2022 by Matt. You know, what's up, Matt? You know what I'm saying? So he goes into talking about the retired judge, Dimick, but he also, this Jack Hill, who's the spokesperson for Dimick. I said, I'm assuming, I'm going to say campaign manager, but he's not, but he's acting as a spokesperson in reference to her campaign. So campaign manager is liberally being used by me as FMO. So he's saying that she was authorized to practice when she filed for office in May, which we know that's not true, right? So we pulled it up in April, bro. We pulled it up in April, and she wasn't authorized. So, like I said, he's making the situation worse. So I don't know if they're trying to use a Kennedy plausible denial situation where he's speaking for her, and she can say, "Oh, he was mistaken, I was mistaken," but you're all mistaken, believing that somehow this system that's being utilized to send the most impoverished individuals, people of color, to prison for a long time works. You're mistaken. But let's just go on. They talk about the judicial positions, the law license, to the sworn affidavit that was filed by the Minnesota Secretary of State. They talk about that like mumble jumble shit, but it's basically they're just trying to do damage control because they knew the story that we put out, that we did diligently investigated, crossed all our T's, dotted all our I's, and brought to the public before anybody else. That story was damaging because it shows her inability to be ethically, morally sound. There's a flaw in her compass. So it talks about how she was trying to save money. I mean, come on, man, for real. A couple of $100. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure like the purse you got and all the stuff you got going on is more than this a couple of $100 you're trying to save on your license. But like I said, this lie. So this goes right back to the thematic purpose of the episode is to say that she's got a problem because somewhere in her mind she believes that what she's done is right, makes sense. Like somehow she believes that she can fool the public by telling them that she forgot. Oopsie, I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? With this Britney Spears shit. You know what I'm saying? And no, it wasn't a mistake. It was purposeful because in her mind, and she's been told that she's going to be the next Mike Freeman and she's going to fit that role perfectly. So I'm just saying, if you guys want another Mike Freeman in office, elect her because that's all you're going to get. But don't be crying to SFMO. Hey, SFMO, could you come save us? You're not going to get no different than a Mike Freeman. She can talk all the shit she wants to talk. But when you allow that man to come over your house and y'all have beers together, when you don't call him out on his bullshit, then it's two peas in a pot. My mama used to tell me, birds of feather flock together. You did? Real quick, I want to come back. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. SFMO got a lot more shit to do than talk about this shit right here, because whatever. But I want to cap this off with this almanac debate between these two. I'm gonna play a little bit longer than I should because I just want to show you the difference between the candidates, and it's not hard. They're diametrically opposite. So if Minnesota's looking for change, you can see change in one candidate, and you can see a comfortable conservative continuum in the other candidate, and you're gonna get the same shit you've been getting. All this shit going there to march in the government center, all these families been doing, and having people not listen to you is what's going to happen. But even better with this, you're going to have somebody who's going to listen to you, ain't going to do a goddamn thing. I'm not playing my Sesame Street, which I'm not playing that shit this go round, folks. I'm just going to play this almanac. So y'all stick and stay. Like I say, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for riding me. My ride or dies. Thank you for riding with me. And I'll be right back.
detrimental.com.
Welcome back to SFMO, your prison lawyer. Like I promised you, I'm going to play a little bit of this debate on Almanac. I thought it was real good. I thought it would be a nice cap on this because SFMO is done with this shit. Done with these ladies, identities, them days. I didn't see the pronoun identifiers on any of these blocks. But if I offended anybody, I apologize about the situation. But just want to finish with this almanac. As I said, I got one of my guys called me from the joint. He was like, "Yes, Mo, I just see that your little YouTube demo blowing up, but check this out. You know, almanac. That on almanac they got I watched it Friday. They're debating. He mentioned it to me because my man's plugged in. He's in the joint doing big things. What's up, Los? Man, Los, what's up? Come on home, Los. He's in there making major moves, and he was on the phone with a couple of individuals heading to this thing that Martha was at. It was some type of panel that she was participating in, and everybody's heading to it. And he wasn't able to see it, but he knew about it. And the gentleman, the reason I brought that conversation up, because the gentleman who's part of the panel is somebody I did time with, Ezekiel County jury, somebody that she doesn't mention. SAFMO can mention it on his platform, but they, you know what I'm saying? They just do it and not, what's the science? They not, you know what I'm saying? They won't call out people's names because they don't want to put us in the spotlight and make us those individuals, right? So shout out to Ezekiel County jury for coming out and doing great things. I appreciate you, brother. Great writer. I said writers, all right? So with that being said, Martha corners her on this conversation. Martha brings up the panel she was just on, and but I just think like this episode, this almanac actually shows how diametrically opposite these candidates are.
Public defender of Hennepin County. She was the top vote getter in the August primary. Martha Dimick is a former Hennepin County judge and prosecutor. She came in second in the primary. Welcome to you both, and thanks for debating. I want to ask you both this question. I saw the race characterized, Mary Moriarty, as between a progressive criminal justice reform platform and a traditional law and order platform. Do you see it in those terms?
Well, what I see is that we can all agree that Hennepin County has a public safety issue. And that is in part because of the failed policies that have been implemented by the county attorney's office for decades. We need something different. And what I bring to this race is a data-based approach based on research.
What does that mean, data-based approach?
Yeah, looking at what works. The system has never really been held accountable for certain prosecutorial practices. And we know from data elsewhere that there are certain practices that the county attorney has that don't increase public safety and incarcerate a lot of Black and brown people.
Making good points. Just off speaking, she's appealing to the fact that, speaking to the truth, I don't know how progressive she is, and because this stuff's been known, right? I mean, come on, man, for real. I just think the progression is the fact that she's willing to talk about it. It's not the fact that it's something that new and inventive she's coming up with. The fact that she's willing to put it on the table and say it's a problem, it exists, and we need to talk about it, right? We need to work through it. These old practices doesn't work. That's the innovation right there. Because if we listen to Martha, she's going to continue talking about how this tough on crime, let's double down on locking people up forever. I'm not talking about that. That's what she's going to say, but that's where I'm going to go with it, right? So that's the problem that we have. And it's the Mike Freeman behavior, right? It's that the continuation, the continuum of this Mike Freeman behavior, this racist, white supremacist behavior, Black and brown bodies, substantiating careers. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But let's just go a little bit further. There's a part up in here I'm going to go to that I really I think it really shows the difference in the candidates. Be right back. That speaks. So they start talking about officers being charged with crimes, because we know the biggest thing we had was the fact that Mark Freeman would not charge any officers. He did never seen anything. Now, we're not talking about this fake, like, yeah, I think this officer should be charged, but then we're in this lackluster campaign against them, of course, given his attorney to be able to beat him. Because like when they bring up this episode or this situation, Dimick's going to say something about a case, but I'm going to show you how opposite it goes when it comes to us. But just let her talk. I'm going to give her a few minutes to talk and state her case, but I'm going to also react to her conversation, because the problem is like with you have these candidates sitting here, and again, I'm telling you that Mary's not a progressive, right? She's just willing to state the facts and bring up a conversation that we've known about for decades, but she's willing to talk about it. Is that making her progressive, right? I guess. In Minnesota, a liberal state. But let me just play this real quick.
Case out. But if
this is her talking about a cop charging a police officer.
And I pray there isn't. Shooting, we'll keep that case. We know how to charge our cases. We know the law, and we know how to review this.
To the state
No, we will keep. I think that was a special circumstance. I would keep that case, and I would charge that case, or charge or make the charging decision in that case, but I would wait until we have all of the evidence. A lot of times people get so worked up and they want you to, to give an answer right away, and that's where some of our previous county attorneys have run into problems.
How would you prosecute a police officer, say, if it was a high-profile shooting?
And that's not true. They don't run into problems because of that, because they wait too early to. They have no intentions of convicting any police officers or anything. So it's always a sloppy job. It's always built on the fact that they allowed these immunities to be utilized. So again, she's not telling the truth or the whole truth. She's making it seem as though there's a way to correct it. That's her way to correct it is that it's a rush to judgment, opposed to it being the fact that they have no intentions of charging them at all. You know what I'm saying? So let's just hear what Mary has to say about this. Again, they're talking about police officers charging.
Right, and one of the reasons there's so little trust in the Hennepin County Attorney's Office and that the Chauvin case had to be taken away and given to the AG is because of the lack of prosecution by the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. My opponent tells a story about when she was a prosecutor.
I want you to listen to the story. It's very important. Listen to the story.
Brought her a case and wanted a black man charged with assaulting the police officer. My opponent says she saw the booking photo and thought that the police officer had beat up the black man. Yet she did not charge that officer. She did not confront the officer about what he had done. She says she actually didn't tell him the truth and said that she didn't have enough proof to go forward with the case of assault against the cop because the scratch was not substantial enough.
So now we know that that's a lie. Right? You know that that's a lie, right? That here we go again with these individuals lying and then trying to make it seem like it's a fact and it makes sense. It's an outright lie because I can push past a police officer to get into my house and I can be charged with an assault against that police officer. Pushing past him, her, them, they is an assault for me. So when you tell me scratches is not good enough for you to charge a police officer with an assault, that's bullshit. Because if pushing past a police officer or falling back and hitting a police officer by accident, being pushed into a police officer, but collateral damage is enough for a police officer to file charges against me, they're attacking me, and I, in defense of myself, hit a police officer is enough for me to get charges filed against me and damage charges filed against me. By accident. And like I said, it's collateral damage to a situation. You know what I'm saying? But they can do that. Prosecutors will allow it to happen. They would prosecute the charge against you in behalf of the police officer, and 9 times out of 10 they will win. So that's what I'm saying. So this is telling because she brings up this story to point out Martha's character, to show that she's not saying like SF Mo is saying. She's circling around it. She's taking the long way around. SF Mo is saying this is who this lady is, and the question is not even. You don't even have to go any further in politics to see who you want. All you want to know is if you want a mini Freeman or you want some sort of change. I'm not saying progression. I'm just saying somebody who's willing to call it how it is. Whether she decides to prosecute a police officer, yes or no, we don't know. We just know that she does not have excuse for not prosecuting him. She can't fall behind like, oh, let's wait and see, or she understands what's going on. Whether she decides to do still is proof in the pudding, show and prove. We don't know it, but we know she knows what the fuck is going on, right? So with that being said, let's just give Martha an opportunity to rebut this, and then we're going to finish up. I ain't going to keep y'all long.
That is why we are in the position we are in. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office, when my opponent was there, did not charge police officers with assaulting black men. And when I've heard her tell that story, I have asked myself, because she didn't tell the police chief, she didn't tell anybody about it, How many other black men did that police officer assault in his career?
I spoke this morning to a person who has just come out of being incarcerated, and he asked
now,
a
who
question,
she's talking about right
what are you
now
going
is
to do in a
Ezekiel
similar situation?
Calagiuri.
And I
She's talking about Ezekiel. She's talking about Ezekiel Calagiuri. He finds himself in a lot more spaces than I find myself in, just because I guess he can take more bullshit, because I can take zero. Got his bullshit separated. I'm from Chicago. So right this now, she's talking about him doing this panel. She's invited to do this panel with him. She speaks, perhaps tells a story. I get a call from the joint, SAF Mo. Check this out. Ezekiel and I'm getting ready to do this demo. I talked to Janae, blah, 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 blah. SAF Mo, like, whatever, who gives a fuck? But he was like, man, check this out. She says she tells the story. You need to check it out. So SF Mo checks the story out to see what the fuck is going on. And the story is the reason why this is so important is because, first and foremost, they don't mention Ezekiel's name. We call him Easy. Don't mention his name. And that in itself shows how they're trying to scrub us out of history, trying to remove our impact on this criminal injustice system. GPAC, impact. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, they're trying to remove this, what we've been attempting to do as we got out. So a lot of us who are out currently who are attempting to change how things look. And by her not mentioning this man's name, who's definitely do that, who's just recently got out of the joint, I think it hasn't even been a year yet. But the effect the political climate is stupendous. But let's just hear what she's got to say. I'm gonna let her finish up. And I did mention on the last break that I was gonna let Martha speak, and I'm letting her speak. I know Mary had a little bit more to say. I didn't get confused the names. I just was saying I was gonna give Martha a chance to explain herself, which is, to me, it's just BS. But let her go.
Shared with him this story. I've shared this story with a lot of people. I'm not ashamed of what I did. This was in the late 1990s to the early 2000s.
You should be ashamed.
It was a different scenario.
It doesn't. No,
it's not. We had a full complement of police officers. This officer came.
See, so this is where I can't even let her finish. This is why I can't even let her finish. This is why I get upset. You know, so she's a black female appointed to positions of power. They slotted her into the position believing that somehow she was going to correct shit. There's another part that they go into talking about departments, and Mary checked her a second time. So in her mind, she's utilizing, so just to finish up the conversation about her and this, whether or not, and it's a different time. The reason I have a problem with that conversation is because there's not a different time. So how long are we supposed to be on master plantation before you think it's okay for us to get up out of here? You know what I'm saying? When you think it's okay? When he free us? Or you think we should go ahead and escape? Because in her mind, right now, at that particular time, when she's appointed, getting all this money in this position, she's not going to make a voice for her black brother who's been assaulted by police officers. But the question should be, how many police cases was she on? Was she championing the police department? Saddled up to him and gave that individual who did no more than push a police officer by accident time. How many of those cases are in, Martha? How many? How many cases? How many innocent individuals you done convicted, Martha? How many? What do you think? Why do you think SAF Modes is telling you need to atone for your sins? But go back to fast forward this a little bit, because I told y'all I'm going to keep y'all long. So y'all got a Twitter feed and Facebook look. You understand? What I'm trying to tell you is that they talk about departments and how they both ran departments. Mary checks her and says, I'm the only person here that ran a department. But Martha's position is that I was good. They promoted me in a system. I was promoted. You were kicked out that system because you were too radical. And if anybody's listening to what I'm saying, you can see why I utilize this as that being diametric. Now, she's being promoted in this white supremacist racist system as a go-to, as a judge, to carry on our continuum of behavior. Makes you want to say, you know what I'm saying? You don't need which one doesn't belong. She belongs in that system. You get an individual who gets kicked out the system because they're viewed as a radical, with the only thing that individual is doing is pointing out the problems in the system. And usually in these structures where an individual comes in and starts pointing out the flaws in the system, they are fastly removed from that system. That's how they vet it. That's why SF Mo said there ain't no such thing as a good cop. That's why SF Mo said there ain't no such thing as corrections. That's why I said there's no such thing as programming. There's no such thing as reentry, because it does not work. If it did work, the system had removed it because it doesn't believe in any of those things. Just giving it to you raw. I'm going to give it to you at all. If you thought I was going to come here and talk about, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, some bullshit, you ain't going to get that. You don't get the real shit. So all I'm trying to tell you right now at this particular juncture is that you got two candidates. One is going to continue. The other one maybe can do some change, but it's up to you. What do you want? Who do you want in that position? And I'm not, like I said, I'm not here. I don't have a dog in the hunt. I really don't care. SF Mo on a bigger trip, you know what I'm saying, on taking care of bigger things. Told you about that, the project we're working on, and it's international, baby. You know what I'm saying? With that said, SF Mo got to run. I know for my Stick and Stay fans and the ones who's down the ride, you're upset. Other ones already left, but that's just how it is. That's how my prison bed was. So I'm about to get up out of here. But like I said, the reason I brought this is not because I'm trying to continue this or beat a dead horse or whatever you want to say. There's no need for me to continue talking about these candidates. It's black and white. You know what I'm saying? It's black and white. You know what I'm saying? And it's really easy, a really easy choice to be made. And it doesn't matter what you want. If you want to continue Mike Freeman's demo, hey, you got a candidate. If you want something a little bit different, a little bit flavor, something that's not so much pistachio ice cream, then you might have Mary, perhaps. With that said, this is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. This is SAF Mo, your prison lawyer. And you're in a real pit. And I just want to end it with this. I just want to end it with this shit right here that I'm about to go slow. Because of her harm in her life, she's been she has this disconnect between black males. She has no problems in throwing them away. Built based on her past harm, historical harm. Last episode, I apologized to her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know her at all.
State Rep for District 65A, who has stepped down to step up to run for Ramsey County Commissioner. Your voice matters. This is our democracy as state. We got to set the table for where we're going to be in the next 50 years. Your vote matter. You matter. November the 8th, please come out and vote.
Be in the middle and you're in the grill pit. IGSTS has a new project that we're going to be working on. We're going to also have a job at a halfway house called Damascus Way. And we're going to watch movies on Friday and Saturday nights. And as a group, we're going to process the movie through thinking errors and tactics, criminal thinking errors that people use and stuff like that, and try to help us all get our thinking back right.